Okay, then, our next story. You know, this is not a fruitful season for farmers in many centers in my country, especially those in the rural settings. The season is characterized by falling food prices to rising production costs. To many of them, it appears government measures favor consumers at the expense of farmers who do all the work. They argue also that policies are designed without considering the realities of farming communities to lack access to credit, limited storage facilities, and weak market access. In addition, many farmers bemoan a lack of Hajj payments. Farmers need a big lift, otherwise we risk food security challenges in the future. Well, we can't afford that now, or can we?
I think the challenge we're having with our farmers now is that many of them who took loans, took credit, to invest in agriculture, and after some months, going to 1 year, they need to pay back their loans. But unfortunately for them, prices of foodstuff, are falling. It means that they have been shortchanged because they now have to, if you buy rice 100,000 naira, at the time you got that loan, you now have to sell, at 30,000 naira.
Oh yeah.
And that is a great loss. And they're also complaining about the cost of investment, in the planting season. That even though the price of goods have come down, which affects their sales, the cost of investing into the new planting season is higher because transportation is there, farming tools, the prices are not coming down, and also some other things, their own needs. For instance, people want to go to Hajj, who cannot go because of their, they are not making enough profit compared with.
Yeah.
So I think it boils down to government giving more attention to how we can mitigate against this kind of consequences. Because if you get a loan and then you can't pay back, it's quite demoralizing.
Depressing, yeah.
And then investing in infrastructure, roads, and also in storage facilities. Many of them who produce tomatoes, perishable items, you discover that because we don't have effective storage system. If you cannot sell these goods at a particular time, you are going to run into a loss. So I think I sympathize with them, and they also complain that the government flooded the market, with all sorts of imported foods. The government did that in order to bring down the prices of food items.
Yeah.
But then we must also consider the impact on farmers, because that means their profit will diminish. So I think it's a challenge, especially in Niger State, Kaduna State, where Benue State, where we have a lot of huge population of farmers, that we need a framework that will protect the farmers, also protect the consumers, and also make people to be able to have access to loan that they can pay conveniently without, much burden on the shoulders of this farmer, because the farming sector is essential, for the growth of our economy. Yeah. Food is the most important thing, whatever we do. So we need to protect them. And I think this is not the responsibility of the federal government alone. State governments, local governments must see this as a challenge, not just to read it in newspapers and then you do nothing. This year, this farming season, local governments, state governments, and federal government must do a lot to assist farmers so that they can cover what they have lost.
Because, when emphasis is placed on non-oil exports, it means if we face agriculture, we face it holistically, right?
Yeah, you see, this problem, I saw this problem coming. I go to the north a lot. I meet farmers. I know what their problems are. Nigerians clamored for food prices to come down, and government responded by allowing, by giving waivers for the importation of food items. Wheat, soybeans, maize, they are now being imported. Rice. A bag of rice is being sold now for around 55,000 in some cases. In fact, the governor of Lagos State, on the day he came here, he said he was considering reducing the price of rice milled at Imota in Ikorodu.
Okay.
Well, Lagos State has the biggest rice mill in Africa. I mean, West Africa, in that place. So government was able to bring in because they couldn't produce enough paddy to even kick that, set the ball rolling at that Imota rice mill. But now they were allowed to bring in paddy in ample quantity.
Okay.
Now
so it forces the...
Yes, now because of the quantum of rice produced there, it has helped bring down prices nearly everywhere. And that is what is happening in other places. People are bringing in rice, soya beans, so many of these, wheat. What that has created is a situation in which a bag of rice that was being sold at 120,000 naira.
That's the 50 kilograms?
No, in the north.
Okay.
In the north, their rice bag is almost 100 kg.
Oh, really?
It's usually big, this big.
Okay.
So it's not this small 50 kg bag. They used to sell it at like 120,000. It's now about 60,000.
Okay.
That is massive. The reduction is massive. Now, what that has done is, with the markets flooded with imported rice, these people are not being patronized anymore. They are making huge losses because the cost of production, the price at which rice is being sold now is way below the cost of production. And when you are in such a situation, how do you plan for the next farming season? Many of them will not be able to farm. And what the government told us about this waiver is that it's not going to be permanent, it's just a temporary
measure,
succor for Nigerians.
Okay.
That we still, because government has to be seen to be encouraging local agri-production. But if we are bringing in plenty of food items from overseas that are way cheaper, because we've not found a way to improve production in a manner that can bring down prices. Even the so-called Anchor Borrowers Program, it didn't succeed in bringing down prices. It didn't succeed. And what is the goal? If we cannot bring down prices, what is the goal in stimulating production? It has to be able to bring down prices. If it does not bring down price, then it's terrible. Now, look at an unfortunate thing happening in Jigawa State. Jigawa is very, very good in wheat production.
Okay.
Jigawa is leading Nigeria in dry season wheat production.
All right.
Because the federal government came up with a program to stimulate wheat production. But today, wheat farmers have stopped. In Jigawa, they've stopped
production.
Producing wheat. They've now settled for onions. Yes. Because the price of wheat crashed by more than 50%. So they are losing money. But they know that onions are not being imported. So if they grow onions, at least they'll be able to make their money.
That's it.
My mom bought soya beans. The price crashed. You can imagine if we bought soya beans at 120K per bag. It then crashed to 80,000 between 80 to 90,000. It's a big loss. So this is the problem that farmers have. I can tell you that in Kaduna State, where I went to do a documentary in October, farmers are now so poor that some of them cannot even engage farm hands to help them harvest their rice fields. It's not an exaggeration. There are rice fields left unharvested because there's no money. Fertilizer and other inputs, very expensive. A friend of mine was saying the other day that, Jide, can you even appeal to Dangote and other people to reduce fertilizer prices? That's a decision for Alhaji to make. But inputs, the cost of inputs are not coming down, but prices are coming down.
Oh, yeah.
So many of them will not be able to go into farming of any kind in the year 2026 because they've already lost so much money last year with the influx of imported food items that are way cheaper than those produced here. Cost per hectare in our country is higher, for example, than China, higher than Thailand. We've not been able to find a way. So over there, they can send in rice that is cheaper because we have not found a way to improve because our agri practices are still antiquated. We've not found a way to achieve greater production.
Well, to think that we have about 30 species of rice in my country, which we cannot take advantage of, you know.
Yeah, we need a comprehensive agrarian policy. And we can learn from China and even the United States. Because there is heavy subsidy given to farmers. To the extent that they even have crop insurance.
All right.
So when there's flooding and you lose a lot of things, there is insurance made compulsory for farmers so that you can regain what you have lost. And then the issue of land distribution, redistribution, is a major problem in Nigeria today. People are losing farmlands to corporate organizations. They just come and buy hectares of land. It's there for 10, 20 years. They don't touch it. Some people in diaspora, what they do now is that they just buy hectares of land. Nothing is there. So when you want to get land, for instance, in some places, you pay high. It's even on lease, maybe for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So if you really want agriculture to take a radical U-turn, we need a policy that will address land ownership and land distribution, subsidy for farmers, and then mechanized farming.
Oh, yeah. The way to go.
The one that's moved, mechanized farming, where our farmers will be trained to go into mass production and then storage facilities, especially in rural areas that are not accessible, but we need to make them accessible through good roads and all that. So we need to take agriculture very seriously. Why is it that we don't have riots in Europe and US? When it comes, a few days it's gone. Because the issue of food has been resolved largely. You cannot wake up and say, I'm waiting for what to eat. But where people don't have access to food, stability is very difficult.
All right, while we drop it there, ours is to give context to the story, So we'll go on a break now, but return very shortly. This is still Journalist Hangout on a Sunday. Please stay with us. Thank you.